Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Snippy Joker, and on today's episode we do the last hero in the healer lineup, Invisible Woman. Now, Invisible Woman, I've done a video before, but I kind of wanted to do a follow-up video as I've had a little bit more practice with her because she has become one of my top 3 healers I like to use in a ranked match. Now, before we go into some guidance, some tips and tricks I've learned with Invisible Woman, let's go over her abilities. Her main attack is kind of like a force energy that comes out of her hands that can not only heal your allies but damage your enemies, and she does a good job with both. Right now, before any patches, she is a great healer slash DPS healer. Or tank. No, DPS healer? Yeah, not tank. Whew. Anyways, this can phase through. So what I mean by that is, in the practice arena, I was practicing on dummies, it can go from and through your ally to heal them to also hit your enemy and do damage. And it kind of like bounces off in between. So it's kind of nice when you have all your allies in front of you, you're healing them, and it can also damage the enemy. Next is her double jump. Now, one of her passive abilities is if Invisible Woman is not in any action, like she's not in any more like danger, she'll go invisible. But if you want to go invisible again, if you double jump by pressing on the PlayStation X twice, she'll go invisible, and as long as you're not taking damage or dealing damage slash healing, you'll stay invisible to allow you to run away and pretty much dodge danger. The next is your force pull. Now this can do 2 things, right? If you do this ability, you can either force push an enemy if they're able to, or force pull an enemy in closer. Now you get 2 options. Somehow when I do it, I always hit the force push because I'm just so used to, being on the right side, my right hand's dominant, so I'm always used to hitting force push, but you can do either one. Next is the ability to put out what I call is the invisible bubble or the force bubble. If you put this bubble out in the right spot, any enemy that goes through it will take damage over time. So use it in the right way, and we'll go over that further in tips and tricks. And then lastly is her invisible shield, or her force shield. This shield can be placed either in the air, because I was a flyer, people have done it for me, or on the ground, but it can only be used one at a time. And it has about 300 hit points before it depletes and can be removed at any time. And lastly, her ult, which is probably one of my favorite ults, puts up a giant invisible shield that within that shield, within that invisible wall, you and your allies are getting healed, can't be seen outside the wall, so you're invisible to the enemy, and has a great advantage in many situations. Now, how do I use Invisible Woman? Well, I try to stay behind my allies to give as much healing as possible. Because then, like I said, while you're healing your allies, if you line it up right, you're not only healing your allies, but you can do damage to the enemy. So try to stay mid to long range. Don't be that healer that likes to just run forward and try to take everyone out. Although she has the power to do that, just stay back. But you also have the advantage or the option to double jump and go invisible when you're in danger. So definitely use that when you're only in danger. Don't just use it willy-nilly because you like to double jump like I do. But her force pull and her force push is great. It can be used for a couple of ways. One, if you have a flyer like Iron Man, Storm, or even Human Torch, you can use force pull to pull them down to get closer to your allies to take them out. Kind of like takes them out of flying mode. Or you can use force pull to pull out a healer, pull out a DPS, pull them away from giving you more advantage to take them out. But also, if you're using the force bubble and an enemy tries to get out of that force bubble, you can either force push them back into the bubble or force pull them to pull them back into the bubble to keep taking that damage over time. Which brings me into my next tip, the force bubble. Use it to kind of give you an advantage in giving that extra damage to as many enemies as possible. Now, sometimes I like to stand in the bubble while trying to take out the enemy, because if they come at me like a Venom or Spider-Man come at me, guess what they're doing? They're getting damage taking them. And if they try to run away, I kind of use that force pull to pull them back in to keep taking that damage. But it's that little extra damage that gives you and your allies an advantage over the enemy and you take them out. Now, her force shield I kind of give to the next ally in front of me, or an ally that needs healing, or like the best one is when Punisher uses his turret, you can give him a shield, but it's one of the few ways that an Invisible Woman can heal herself, because other than that, the only other way is usually using her ult, or if you have another healer, which kind of stinks, but makes sense at how powerful, Invisible Woman is. But use the shield like I did here with the Punisher to give him an extra advantage or extra hit points, or use it for your ally, or if you put in an ally, go stand next to it so that you can also get the heal benefits. Use it to your advantage. And lastly, her ult. Her ult is fantastic because it gives you and your allies advantage not only at healing, but allows your allies to reposition themselves to either strike from a distance. I've seen, a Scarlet Witch use her ult and come out of the invisible wall at the last minute, or use a Doctor Strange using his Eye of Agamotto coming out from the left, giving him an advantage to power up his Eye of Agamotto. So things of that nature. And also gives you advantage over, like, if you're doing a push with, like in here when we're doing defense or doing attack. So it allows you to push forward or to pretty much stop the enemy from pushing forward, and you can get an ace with it. But the invisible wall is a great advantage to give you cornering or healing, or just using it against another ult so that the enemy can't see where you are or where you're positioning. Now, I love Invisible Woman. She's probably the third choice I have. Usually I go Luna Snow, and if Cloak and Dagger is not available, I'll go to Invisible Woman. But she is fantastic, and the only downside I have with her is trying to get the best heals on myself before I pretty much die. So I've only died twice in this one, and it's only because of Jeffrey, which I loathe, and because of a Venom. Other than that, she is a great healer and DPS healer. So tell me your thoughts. Are you a Invisible Woman main? Do you like her? Do you hate her? What combos do you use? And of course, sub to help me grow. Like my videos so the YouTube likes me. Check out Snippy Joker Shorts, Snippy Joker 2.0, where all my single player content, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.